My name is James, and today I'll be breaking down UFC 301 PANTOJA versus ERCEG. I'll be going through the early prelims, and the main card of it. It's a solid card. There's no kind of name recognition, but should be some very good fights on it. Before we get into the breakdowns, though, let's take a look at and see how I've done in the last few events. We have UFC 300 and UFC Vegas 91 on the board. I'm picking around a 70% win rate. Come on. Hopefully that trend continues into this card, but we shall see. It is the fight game, anything can happen. But moving on into the fights now. To kick off UFC 301, we have Alessandro Costa taking on Kevin Borjas. This fight is actually quite hard to predict here, because each guy kind of has their way of winning.
Oh my goodness, heavy almost coming
down. He's a very powerful striker, and good combos. He can mix it up on the ground as well. He's training with Diego Lopez, so kind of biased there. But overall, just a very solid fighter, and I think with the mix up of takedowns and landing big hooks, I think he has the way of winning that. On the other side of things, we have Kevin Borjas, he's still kind of unknown in the UFC. He had a good performance against Joshua Van in his last time out, where he was very fast in the striking. Takedown defense kind of sucked, but he still had good scramble skills, and he did rock Joshua Van at 1.2. So really, this could go either way. I'm siding on the Costa side of things. I just think he's going to have more ways to win this. But Kevin Borjas is a very technical and fast striker, and both guys have the cardio to go through rounds. So really, anything could happen. But going with the Costa side of things, mixing with Diego Lopez, I don't know. But Costa should be able to get this done, probably by decision though, because both guys are tough. Moving on. Next up, we have a pretty straightforward breakdown. We have Ismail Bonfim taking on Vince from Hell Pichel. Bonfim's going to be the pick here. I feel like he kind of just makes sense. He's going to be the younger guy. He's going to be the more powerful guy. He's very unorthodox at times too. As you see by stats there, he does throw a lot and get hit by very little. He has good takedown skills as well. Overall, just a very solid guy. He did get rocked the last time in his fight against Benoit Saint Denis, but Benoit Saint Denis is a fucking animal. So, I don't really fault him for that. Ismail Bonfim, this is kind of like a layup for him from the UFC. If he can't beat Vince Pichel, probably hang up the gloves there. I feel like the sport is not for you if that is the case. He's taking on Vince Pichel. He was, back in the day, he was okay. Solid striker, good takedowns, all that kind of stuff. The problem is, though, it's just past his day. He's 41 years old. I don't see a way that he wins this. He also has a mustache, which I bet against anybody who just has a mustache. I feel like it's cursed. I bet with Matthew Semmelsberger. Urush Medic, I think, was the fight where he just had a mustache on, and yeah, of course he lost. Of course he lost there. So betting against Vince Pichel mainly because of that and the fact that he's old. So Ismail Bonfim, pretty straightforward, should get this done. We have Diane Barbosa, she sounds like a pirate, taking on Ernesta, however you say your last name. Pick here is going to be Ernesta. My advice is just stay away from this fight. Both girls are just very untested in this. Ernesta has the grit, she has the strength. She's going to be the better striker in this, which I think the judges will favor that, at least for right now. The judges are scoring cards here. Barbosa, she has good takedowns, a very good BJJ skills on the ground. She can throw up submissions here and there. But I think Ernesta is going to stay tough, kind of avoid the takedowns and stay on the feet. And with that, she will find success, as you see by her stats there. She throws a lot, also gets hit by a lot, but I assume she's been making improvements here. She's going to have the reach advantage by a decent amount here, so I think that's going to benefit her as well. So Ernesta's the pick. I just recommend just staying away from this fight, just because both girls are just untested here. Moving on. Next, we have Mauricio Ruffy taking on Jamie Mullarkey. It's Ruffy's debut in the UFC. He did very well on the Contender Series, taking out a very dangerous guy. He is kind of a McGregor-esque kind of style. He kind of waits for the counters. He has very good footwork, very good positioning in the cage, and very powerful. So if he does land the counter, night. Yeah, the pick's Ruffy. I think this is going to be a striking matchup. It's just past Jamie Mullarkey's only 29. I was going to say past Jamie Mullarkey's day, but I guess he's still technically in his prime. I just don't trust Jamie Mullarkey's chin. He is a tough guy. He does throw a lot, and I think if he does stay very aggressive in this fight, that might put Ruffy in some dangerous positions, but I feel like Ruffy's going to be smart, find the counter, and probably put out Jimmy Mulaki in round 2. So Ruffy's the pick just because I just think he's the more dangerous guy here. Yeah, moving on. Next up, we have Joaquim Silva taking on Drakkar Klose. The pick here is going to be close. I just think all around he's just a very solid dude. I just think he's far better than Joaquim Silva. Joaquim Silva looks the part, like, don't get me wrong, like, he definitely looks more of like a UFC fighter. Both guys are similar build, similar age, all that kind of stuff. Just on paper, Klose beats him everywhere. He has more ways to win this. He has the ability to mix up takedowns. He's just a better striker. Joaquim Silva, I don't know, his last 5, he's been kind of getting rocked a little bit. He put up a very close fight against Clay Guida, who again is like 40 years old or something like that. The fact that Joaquim Silva made that competitive, I just can't pick him. It's funny because he did hurt Arman Tsarukyan, which Charles Oliveira couldn't. Beats me, but I just don't think Joaquim Silva is gonna get this done. I just don't think. I think Drakkar Klose is just another level. He's just very solid. He has very good wins in the UFC and just very consistent too. Like in a sport like the UFC, especially with betting with the UFC, it's just you want consistency or at least close to it. And I think Klose is going to be that. Next up, I hate this matchup strictly because I don't like the French. So the pick here is going to be Gene Silver. That's it. Like William Gomez, he can kind of pod shot around the outside, but he's not really a fun fighter to watch. Like, look at his strikes per minute. Kind of sucks. Well, on the other side, you got boss man Gene Silver, Mr. Worldwide almost. 5.83 landed per minute for striking. He gets hit a lot, which, kind of does worry me a little bit in this one. But he's gonna kill William Gomez. William Gomez is obviously he's looking good so far in the UFC, but he's French, so gonna have to pick against him, unfortunately, even though he does have the range, height, a lot of advantages here. So my advice is don't listen to me on this one too much. But Gene Silver is probably gonna get it done. Probably by first round KO, probably within the first 30 seconds, because William Gomez is French. So Gene Silva's gonna get it done. He's just a more powerful striker. I actually think he is the harder hitter as well in this, and I don't think the fight's gonna go to the ground, but if it does, it's gonna be because of Silva taking it there, not because of Gomez. Gomez is gonna want to stay on the outside and kind of just 1-2s here and there. It's kind of boring to watch now. Another reason not to like him. So Gene Silva's the pick. Go Brazil. Get him on. Next, we should have a pretty interesting fight. We have Elves Brenner taking on Mayatebek Olobai. I'm going to call him the Caveman. It's just easier to say, and looks don't deceive. Brenner is a very dangerous fighter. He throws everything with a tent. He has a good comeback victory against Garam earlier on last year. Striking-wise, he definitely has the edge in this fight. Both guys have very similar builds. His takedown defense, though, even though it looks good, it's not going to matter. The Caveman, when he wants to impose his will, I think he will. He's going to get the takedowns, and, Brenner, to defend against that, has to fight a perfect fight, which I just don't think he will. Orobai, I think he's the real deal. His striking does suck, so, Brenner does have the advantage there, like I mentioned, so if this is a stand-in matchup, which I don't think it will, I think it will go to the ground, but for whatever reason, I guess, for the reason what I'm trying to say here is every fight does start on the feet. Probably for about 30 seconds, and then Caveman's going to get a takedown. So I don't know what I'm saying here. I think Caveman's going to get it done. I just think he's better with the takedowns and probably going to win this by submission, if not a decision where he just holds him for 5 minutes each round. So Brenner, you're dope, but you're going to lose. So that's it. Next up, we have a very similar breakdown as what we had before. We had Caroline I don't know how to say her last name. I'm not going to say it. Carolina taking on Yasmin Lucindo. The pick here is, I think I'm going to go with the old person here, which I know I'm going to go on against everything I'm saying with betting with old people. Carolina is piecing together a 4-fight win streak. She's a very dangerous striker. She tends to stay on the outside. She throws 1-2s. She's good with the hooks. Good takedown defense as well. Very experienced in the UFC. She's taking on a 22-year-old Lucinda, who, same thing, you know, she can strike. As you see by her stats, she throws as much as she gets hits. She does have good takedowns. That does worry me, because if Carolina does get taken down, Lucinda, you know, she is a beast on the ground. But I'm going to go with the striker, going to go with the old lady here. I might be regretting this after Saturday night on Sunday. But we're going to go with it. I just think she's just going to be the best striker. She has the experience. She has the fight IQ to stay on the outside, throw the 1-2s, probably land the better shots too. The only thing that does worry me is if the takedown defense does fail and Lucinda does get her way on the ground. And then it would be over pretty quickly. So, Carolina is the pick. Hopefully she gets it done. Not too confident in it. I'd probably just stay away. Here we have Jack Shore taking on Johannesson Burrito. Both these guys are very similar in everything that they do. Both are okay strikers. Both have very good takedowns. Both have very good submission and ground skills. Both have, you know, they're the same height, same age, same kind of everything. The side that I'm picking, though, is the Johannesson Burrito side. I just think even though they are very similar, I just think he's better everywhere. He's the more hungry guy. In his last fight against Jonathan Pierce, stand up and do something. He's standing up straight. Burrito is just a hungry fighter right now. He's still going into his prime. I think he wants it more. He's a more powerful striker. I think he's more dangerous on the ground than Jack Shore. And I think he's just more explosive everywhere. So Burrito is going to be the pick, mainly because I think he's just a better guy everywhere. Jack Shore, he's moving up in weight because obviously he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. I think he's fat, and I think he's going to lose this in a quite embarrassing way. So Johannesson Burrito is going to get this done, mainly because he's more hungry, and I think he's just better everywhere. Moving on. Starting off the main card of 301, we have Paul Craig taking on Caio Borralho. The pick here is going to be Caio. He's going to be the fastest striker. He's going to be a lot more explosive, very technical as well. Very good leg kicks to add on to that. Takedown defense is good. I think it will hold up on this. I think even if he does get shot on by Paul Craig, I think he's going to have good scramble skills and be able to get himself out of that. Paul Craig on the other side, he's going to be the bigger guy in this fight. He's also going to be the older and slower guy in this fight, and I think that will matter. Striking-wise, not that good, and I just don't think it's on Caio's level. The only way Paul Craig gets this done is if he gets takedowns and finds the submission. But I think Caio is going to know that, and he's going to be working on that in the gym. He's going to be working on scramble skills, how to avoid the submissions, and so on. I think it's just coming to the end of Paul Craig's day. He's 36 now. He's getting older and older. Caio, he's still going into his prime. He's still improving. He's still making those adjustments as and when needed. And I think all around, he's going to be the better fighter in this, as long as he keeps it off the ground against Paul Craig. Moving on into the next fight.
What it's called, weighing in at 172 pounds, fighting out of Cuba, Power, Brazil, Michelle Demolidor Pereira.
We have a fan favorite fight. We have Michael Pereira taking on Ihor Petrija. I think is how you say it. Again, last name's not my day with this video. The pick here is going to be Pereira. I think he's just going to be the more fun fighter in this. He's going to be a lot more explosive. His transition up to the 185 weight class has done very well so far. In his last fight, he got a KO victory, which is very impressive for him. He throws a lot. He doesn't really get hit too much. Takedowns, I don't think this is going to go anywhere near the ground in this fight. I think it's strictly going to be striking. And I think with the explosive techniques of Michael Pereira, I think he's going to get it done. He's very dangerous, very fun fighter to watch. He's just a guy. Ihor, on the other hand, he's not doing too good right now in the UFC. 27, so, you know, still room for improvement, still growing as a fighter. But I just don't think it's going to be enough in this fight. I think he's probably going to get knocked out or TKO'd in this. He's a very technical striker at times. He's not very powerful in my eyes, and I just don't think it's going to be enough against Michael Pereira. The line is gone, so I mean, like, maybe parlay, but even that, I don't think there's much you can do with it. But Pereira's going to get it done. Moving on. pretty fun fight here, actually. We have Anthony Smith, the semi-orc, taking on Victor Petrino, who just broke into the top 15. Victor Petrino should get this done. He's going to be faster, a lot more explosive, more powerful leg kicks, stronger, better counters. Overall, just a better fighter everywhere. Anthony Smith, he's all right. I personally just don't like him. I think his ego gets in the way a lot of his time with his fights. He just sucks. Like, he's okay with striking. He's okay with takedowns. He's just okay everywhere. Nothing that really impresses me. I think it's just past his day too. He's 35. You know, he barely beat Ryan Spann, and look what that orc last weekend did to him. So Victor Petrino, I think it should be either a impressive first or second round TKO, or Anthony Smith is going to tough it out and it's going to go to a decision. But Victor Petrino all the way. Odds kind of gone in this one again. Kind of a fan favorite. But Victor's going to get it done. Pretty confident in this one. Is back. Jose Aldo taking on Jonathan Martinez. Very interesting fight. Jonathan Martinez, devastating leg kicks, very good striker, very technical, throws in combos, younger guy in this. You know, takedowns, not really, doesn't really happen for him, but he has very good takedown defense. He's taking on somebody like Jose Aldo, you know, who retired, then going into boxing, and then now he's back in the UFC. I don't know where his mindset is at. Very exciting fighter to watch though, because Jose Aldo is a very technical striker. Especially if he's been training boxing for the last little bit here. He is going to be on fire with the 1-2s, the counter hooks, the jabs, everything. So Martinez does need to watch out for that. With Martinez's leg kicks, although they are very devastating, Jose Aldo does know how to check a leg kick. I mean, look at his record, 31-8. He has experience of doing that. Although Aldo is definitely the fan favorite here, I'm gonna have to side with the Martinez side of things. He's just younger. I think he's going to be more explosive, more dangerous. Jose Aldo is gonna win this if we see the old Jose Aldo. Like, he just needs to pull up something here because he's just going to be too old. He's not going to be faster. He is going to be very crafty and very technical in this. There's no doubt about that. I just think it's a young man's sport, and Jonathan Martinez is going to get it done. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any regrets on this unless Jose Aldo completely embarrasses my pick here. So, Martinez get it done. Don't know how, probably by decision. Yeah, moving on. Main event of the evening, we have Alexandra Pantoja taking on Steve ERCEG, the Pizza Boy. A lot of people are going with Steve ERCEG this fight. He's number 10 ranked. He's taking on the champion. I'm siding on the side of Pantoja. Again, with the first fight that we broke down on this video here, he has more ways to win this. He has grit. He has determination. He's not going to be the bigger guy in this fight, though. That, you know, somewhat does concern me. Striking wise, he's very crafty. He doesn't give up on himself. Even if he's tired, he just continues to move forward. He's able to land good counters, very technical, like I mentioned, very powerful as well. Takedowns, though, very impressive. He can take you down. He can hold you there. If he wants to throw up a submission, he will. He's just one of those guys where all around, you know, you can trust him. You know kind of what you're going to get when Pantoja fights here. He's taking on somebody like Steve ERCEG, who before this fight, most people haven't really heard of him. 28, still coming into his prime from Australia. He's put up a very impressive 5-0 in his last 5 fights. With that, though, the 5-0, they're against okay people. Like, they're nothing like the competition that Pantoja's been facing. Striking-wise, Steve ERCEG is very technical. He has knockout power. Very crafty, very fast as well. Takedown defense is decent. If he does get taken down, Steve ERCEG does have very crafty scramble skills. So I do get why people are on the Steve ERCEG sides. I'm just going to have to side with the side of Pantoja. I know what I can expect from him. I know that he has great determination. Even if he's tired, keep on moving forward. He has a solid chin. And I still think it's the year of the Pantoja. I think he's going to continue to be champ in front of the home crowd. Yeah, it's all leaning towards Pantoja, but I do get the Steve ERCEG risk and the side of it. But I trust Pantoja, and I feel like he's going to get it done. That was the breakdown of UFC 301, Pantoja versus ERCEG. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, of course. If you disagree with any of my picks, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be posting a best bets video tomorrow of my bets and what I'm going to make for this card. And hopefully I'm going to continue doing that trend for the next few videos here. So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.